This is a case of a diocese doing what it's supposed to, a bishop doing what he's supposed to, which we love to cover here because goodness knows there's plenty of examples of the opposite. So it's wonderful to have this reminder that, hey, we're still the Catholic Church. There are still bishops out here who are standing up for the faith. And this is a bishop we've mentioned before. It's Bishop Barber, who co-wrote that awesome letter with Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone that was condemning the California efforts to crack down on abortion pill reversal, saying basically these people seem to just love killing. It was a really fiery letter. It was great. Well, Bishop Barber he received a report from a community member that there was a Progress Pride flag on the campus of Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland. And Oakland Archbishop Michael Barber, he received this report, and he sent the diocese sent a directive to the school saying, you have to remove these flags. This is against Catholic teaching. And there was a joint pastoral letter from Barber and Cordileone in 2023 that addressed gender ideology and rejected it, saying it's contrary to Catholic understanding of the human person. So these two bishops have been working, the archbishops, I should say, have been working together for a while now in upholding church teaching. Well, the school kept the flags up until shortly before summer break, finally removed them, and then they spent a year developing they apparently spent a year developing the flags and putting them up on campus, and then they took a long time to finally take them down, and then they said, okay, well, let's spend another year developing this symbol, and it's O'Dowd High School, so it's an O for their name. This bishop, I don't know anything about Bishop O'Dowd, but I would imagine he's, God willing, he's in heaven and not rolling in his grave, but in heaven weeping about the school named after him doing this, that they take this O and then have this rainbow tie-dye splotchy design. It's pretty ugly. It's this rainbow watercolor splotch design on it with all of these words in the background. I don't know if Sarah can bring it up, but on the screen. But it says like seen, known, loved. All this sort of. It's gay. It's pretty gay. There we go. Sarah's got it on the screen here, so you can you can see just how gay it is in both the sense of being LGBTQ and being lame. But in any case, the school designed this and put it forward, and it's clear that despite following the orders from the diocese, well, I guess we have to follow that order. Well, we're just going to come up with a different way to flout church teaching on this and promote this ideology, as opposed to actually trying to accompany kids who would sadly be struggling with this issue.
Well, that's my thing. So the school responded that they, spent all this different time trying to find out, just the right way to affirm and include the LGBTQ plus community. That's how they put it, not me. And the thing is that this is a Catholic high school, so kids who are struggling with same-sex attraction, or kids who are struggling with gender dysphoria or gender dysmorphia, they're already included in our faith because, they're human beings who are Catholic, who are bearing a cross of their own, right? Ultimately, the issue is, are we including or are we affirming? And there's a huge difference there. Courage International, for example, is a group that includes Catholics who struggle with same-sex attraction. It doesn't affirm their attraction or tell them that they ought to identify solely by or principally by the attractions that they struggle with, right? And that's the sort of distinction, is that within the LGBT movement, there is this sense that if you have these attractions, you not only have them or struggle with them or whatever, but it is sort of who you are. It is like a principal piece of your personality going forward. Whereas in a Catholic worldview, you would simply say this person is struggling with this particular cross, and we ought to accompany them in their struggles and help them to try to overcome it, however we can do that. And that's a very different perspective. But this school seems to have misunderstood entirely what it means to engage in compassion and understanding as it relates to this. And instead, this is what bothers me, is they're basically saying to these young Catholics who may be struggling with these things that this is all that they are, and that because this is how they're defined, therefore we have to have, the special flag that has the tie-dye, because this is, otherwise you're excluded. It's like, no, you're not. You're included because you're, a young Catholic man or woman.
Yeah.
You were already included beforehand. We didn't need to include your sin.
Yes.
Nobody else's sins are on there. Everybody struggles with them, and yet the people are incorporated and included by default because we respect who they are. But that doesn't mean that we want to emphasize their pains, their sins, and then their struggles like that.
Absolutely. We should, Sarah, you and I should create an anger flag that we can promote. Maybe we can get the whoever succeeds the SPLC.
Trying to get on the SPLC's list.
Whoever succeeds the SPLC, maybe they'll actually fund us to create an anger flag to support, to endorse our identity as people who get really angry about stupidity and evil and such. That'd be great. But I do want to cite this letter here from Archbishop Barber and Archbishop Cordileone. Just a reminder that Archbishop Cordileone is now a member of the Vatican's highest appeals court, basically too. So it's not just stories like which I always laugh at, Cardinal Marx still being in charge of economic issues at the Vatican. He was confirmed in that role. He's been there for over 10 years now.
Yes,
he's been confirmed in that, which is a little disappointing.
Horrifying,
I should say. Yeah, it's. Although it is funny that a Marx is in charge of economics. But then you've got Cordileone on the Vatican's highest court, and he has a solid understanding here of church teaching, because this letter, this is on the, you can still go find it on the San Francisco Archdiocese website about gender ideology. It says that it is opposed to reason, to science, and to a Christian view of the human person, which is great because that's all true. And it's emphasizing that this isn't just a matter of sort of, well, as Catholics we believe this, that it's all linked, that the Catholic faith is linked to reason and to science. This is truth. This is objective truth about the evils of gender ideology. And they called Catholics to, and you're going to say, oh, well, I hate this word, accompany, just like I hate the word synodality. They called Catholics to accompany people experiencing gender dysphoria to protect them from unjust discrimination while remaining faithful to the truth about the human person. And that's true. You can express compassion, you can express charity, you can express love and understanding and sympathy and empathy without rejecting the truth and without being unclear.